Hello, this is Sean again, and we're continuing on with our videos of how to set up a MikroTik in a SOHO environment. I have went ahead and factory reset this device, and now we're back at square one. So I'm not going to use the quick set like we did last time, and we're going to go through step by step. So first, we want to comment and enable any interfaces that we need. So I open up the interface list. And it looks like the wireless is disabled, so I'm going to go ahead and enable that. And then I'm going to right click on each one and comment. And Ether 1 is the WAN. Ether 2 is, LAN 1. Ether 3 is LAN 2. And the wireless LAN is wireless, or let's just say Wi-Fi. So now that we have our interfaces commented, we actually have to add a bridge and add them to the bridge. So I'm going to click on bridge, click the plus sign to add a bridge. I'm going to call this LAN bridge, because that's what it's for. And click OK. Now we're going to click on ports, and we're going to add the appropriate interfaces. So the first one will be the wireless, so I'll add that to it. I'll go ahead and add, will be Ether 2, which is LAN 1. And lastly on this, I'll go ahead and add LAN 2, which is Ethernet 3. Now all three interfaces act like they're connected to a single switch. The next step is going to add the LAN IP. Now, since these are all on a bridge, the IP doesn't go on the LAN itself, it goes on the bridge. So we'll go ahead and use the usual IP, 192.168.1.1. And here we're going to use the /24 to notate the subnet mask. The network will automatically populate, and we're going to add this to the LAN bridge interface. And now we have the LAN IP set. The next on is we're going to set up the WAN IP. Now in most scenarios it's going to be dynamic, but if this was a static IP we would just do the exact same thing. So just say it's going to be 10, 10, 10, 10 or 100.75 / let's say 29, because you got 5 IPs, and you'd add it to the WAN 1 or Ether 1 interface, hit apply, and boom, it adds it right there. But since we want to pull the IP automatically from the ISP, we're going to enable DHCP Client, and that is under IP, DHCP Client, and we're at hit the plus sign, and we're going to tell it which interface to use. We're going to use Ether 1, which is our WAN interface. We're going to add the default route, and right now the route distance is 1. There's no other options that we want to set, but if we want to see the status, we can click apply, and it's going to reach out to the upstream router. It's going to grab an IP. Here's the gateway, here's the DHCP server, here's when it expires, here's the primary DNS, secondary DNS, and same thing with the NTP servers as well, pulled down. So now we have a LAN IP, WAN IP, we have the interfaces connected to a switch. The next thing we need to set up is the wireless network, or the wireless SSID. So I'm going to click on wireless, and is actually landing on a good tab, security profiles. Now by default, all your wireless interfaces will use the default security profile. So we need to configure this for the appropriate mode. We're going to use this as dynamic key, and we're going to use WPA2 PSK. And I'll go ahead and hit apply. It says, hey, you must enter a password with at least 8 characters. So we're going to set a password of welcome1, And this is the trick I've learned with MikroTik is you usually want to set the key update to something that's beyond 30 minutes. I found the sweet spot is 55 minutes. If you have it too short, I've found that some mobile devices, like iPhones, seem to glitch out when you're roaming from place to place. So I went ahead and applied. So the security profile is all set up. Now we need to configure the SSID name. So we're going to click on wireless interfaces or Wi-Fi interfaces. We'll double click on the interface that's active. We're going to click on wireless. And it's going to ask us what mode. This always needs to be set to AP bridge mode unless you're doing something specific outside of the SOHO environment. I'm going to set this to 2G only in. Channel width, you can set it anywhere between 5 to 40 megahertz. I'm just going to leave the default for this example. I'm going to set the frequency to auto. And the SSID name, we're going to call this Test 2G Network, or Test 2G. Scan list won't matter. Wireless protocol is any. And the security profile, that's the one we just configured. We are going to disable WPS, because WPS has some security holes in it. Bridge mode enabled means it allows us to be a part of a bridge. And we're not going to tag it to any VLAN. So now that's all set. We'll go ahead and click apply. And OK. And as you see below, it shows running AP, running a slave. That means it's slaved to the bridge. And I'm going to use my mobile device to connect to it so you can see what a new device looks like when it's connected to this specific Wi-Fi. I'm going to click OK. Look at registration. And let me flip my Wi-Fi on my mobile device so I can pick up the new network. And what do you know? My mobile device is not detecting it. Let's go ahead and go ahead and disable this and then re-enable. I have seen wireless interfaces glitch up like that. Alright, now it's disabled. And then go and re-enable it. And I see my Test 2G network. I want to connect to it. Use the password of welcome1. And look at the registration, see if it's trying to connect over. And it is connected to wireless, so the test network. So I'll go ahead and disconnect from that, and I'll reconnect to my main Wi-Fi, and I'll drop off that. The next thing we want to set up is the DHCP server for the LAN addresses. And let me go ahead and do that now. So you have your DHCP right here. Now the easiest way to go about this is using the DHCP setup wizard. So you click on DHCP setup, you pick the interface you want to put this on, which is the LAN bridge, and you basically hit next all the way through until you want to adjust a particular setting. So I'm going to set this to 51 through 100. Hit next. It shows the DNS servers. Release time, I'll go ahead and set it to 55 minutes as well. And the setup has been set up correctly. So anything that plugs into anything on the LAN bridge, which is Ether 2, Ether 3, or on the wireless, we'll get an IP from this DHCP server right here. And we'll go ahead and look at the leases. I'll go ahead and reconnect to the Wi-Fi and see if this is going to work successfully. I'm going to cross my fingers and toes. My messages pop up my side here. Give me just a minute. I'm going to make a quick adjustment on my side here. Okay, now I'm going to reconnect. Yeah, a bunch of pop-ups on my side here. So we see my device is connected. I'll go ahead and move over to the DHCP server, and now we can see the lease of the device as well. So it gives the address, the MAC address, the ID, which server is connecting to, the active address, active MAC address, and of course the host name if it's bound to it. I'll go ahead and close this out and disconnect from there. And this is probably 95% the way it's set up how the quick set was set. Now there's two more things we have to go through, and those are going to be the firewall settings. And I'll go ahead and go through those on the next video. Stand by, and I'll be right back.